The Edmonton Oilers are back on the road, baby, after finishing their season-long 6-game homestand. The boys, they're out for a quick 2-game roadie, a back-to-back in St. Louis and Chicago. We got 3 games in 4 nights before we head out for the Four Nations break. Trip kicks off in St. Louis tonight for a showdown with the Blues at the Enterprise Center. Hello, what up, and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy. I'm sorry I am late. I apologize. Pregaming is brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant and a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. So, apologize for the late start. We're a little all over the place. Internet issues, traffic issues, and snow issues. Zach Laing will join me, maybe won't join me. Who knows? We're pre-gaming with Bordzy, so you got at least 60 minutes of this face. And shout out to Patrick Puff behind the scenes because he's been going all over the place. Even produced Oilers Nation every day today, but you guys didn't know that because he did such a damn good job. Let's check in with the chat and my fine friends, all of you. See, I'm not alone. I've got every one of you guys in the chat. And my boy Austin's in. He says, fire up the fucking band, Bordzy. It's that time of day, baby. Let's go, my ON fam. Throw down your likes, Austin. I think he left that part out. You did half your job, Austin. Dylan's in. Let's go. I'm not late. I was, in fact, late. Let's go, Oilers. Cup, yeah. Please, let's get a win today, Davin. What a great day to be an Oilers fan, Lance. This one made me laugh a lot. You don't need another hobby because I appreciate that you're in every single live show chat that I do. I feel like I hang out every day with Lance Kane because he's a beauty. Cameron, game day, have a good one tonight. And I like this one from Kiana. Oilers back in action tonight. Booked the nation vacation this afternoon. Bang. You got to love that. Only thing that will make today better is a big orange W. I also see cup yeah, cup yeah, cup yeah, cup yeah, cup yeah, because it's a cup yeah in the chat. People, we're going to have a good one tonight. Vibes are high. I was excited to be joined by Zach Laing. We were doing an at-home show today because, well, he had some stuff going on. He did just text me, said his internet crashed. So maybe that will get fixed. Maybe that won't get fixed. Who knows, whatever. But we're going to do it from home. I was very thrilled about that because I'm sad to report, people, you're only getting 2 more shows of pre-gaming with Bordzy. I'm here today. I am here tomorrow for both pre and post. And then me, I'm out. I'm going to Arizona for a weekend at the Waste Management Open. I got a bachelor party for 2 bros. Different marriages. Let me know. That's fine. But different marriages, 2 bros, double the trip. It's going to be an awesome time. And the Super Bowl in Arizona. I also plan on joining Friday's post-game show live from Arizona. So we will see what state that I am in. But come on. Shout out to Odd Company. Actually, let's do that right now, Pat. Shout out to Odd Company Brewing, Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Goes down smooth when you're doing a show by yourself. Shout out them 2 locations in the Edmonton area. You can get them downtown, get them Richie as well. Or, of course, check liquorconnect.com or be like me and kindly ask your local liquor store attendant to start ordering these bad boys. Just checking in with the chat. They're being nice about the mustache, and you guys are understanding that internet fails. Also, it's very cold out and roads are. I was worried that maybe Zach didn't get home in time. But before we start anything off, I want to wish a happy birthday to Darnell Nurse. Happy birthday. Happy 30th birthday, that is. Tell me what that feels like, because me actually and Zach are staring down the barrel of 30. Shout out 1995. But Darnell Nurse, but nothing short of awesome this season. Just wanted to give him his flowers. Been incredibly consistent. Was listening to the radio today. Shout out Sports 1440, discussing, man, the influence of Paul Coffey, right? We saw it last year in the NHL playoffs with Evan Bouchard, and I think he's still got his work cut out with Evan Bouchard there. But the evolution of Darnell Nurse since Paul Coffey has joined this team, he's kind of realized, maybe not his full potential, but much of his potential. He's played 686 games in the NHL now, all of them in Oilers orange and blue. So happy birthday to the doctor. Let me know, You got any favorite Darnell memories? I was struggling to pick one specifically. There's obviously lots of moments where he beat the shit out of somebody on the ice. So that's up there. And then I want to ask you guys, anytime Darnell Nurse goal tonight? Are we thinking it? I believe when I looked earlier, it was plus 900 on the evening. So I didn't put it in Bordzy's bankroll, but doesn't that just kind of have the feel of a Darnell stepping up in the rush kind of evening? I'm just pulling it up right now. Darnell Nurse plus 900 anytime goal. All right, fuck it. We ball, we ride responsibly with our friends from Bet365. I see Bo said, join the 30 club, Bordzy. Yeah, that would suck. Hey, Liam's in. He says, if you want to guest there and let me know. Pat, this is how we do it here. And I saw in the chat was put, fuck it, we'll do it live. Send Liam an invite if we can, because, hey, why not? I'll always listen to that beautiful English accent. And talking about the Oil, we got ourselves a little back-to-back roadie on our hands tonight. Obviously, Oilers in St. Louis tonight at the Enterprise Center, and then is the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow at the United Center. They come back home for one game against Colorado before taking a break for, let me say it right, 4 nations facing off. The problem, they're facing a 3-game losing streak tonight as the Oil have dropped both of their last 2 games, and it was a 3-2 shootout loss to the Detroit Red Wings, where it should have been over after 20 minutes. The Oilers should have put their foot on the metaphorical neck of the Red Wings. And then a 4-3 loss to the Maple Leafs that didn't give the Oilers a chance after the first 20 minutes of the game. Say it all the time, but you literally never know what you're going to get with the Oilers in their first periods. January was an amazing month. I think the Oilers had at least 10 wins in there, but they stumbled a bit at the end. And then obviously the first game of the month against Toronto. And it might just be me because I'm heading out to Arizona in 36 hours, but who's counting? But it does kind of feel like there's a little bit of get to the finish line kind of going on right now in this team. And I do think that is only human. And in McDavid's case, Ekholm's case, maybe thinking about your 4 nations a little bit, but there is a job to be done. You still got a back-to-back on the road. And this is 4 points the Oilers should undoubtedly get. These are 2 teams. You put them on paper. We should win these games. But we have seen the Edmonton Oilers take lesser teams lightly is the PC polite way that I can put it there. And I need the Oilers to stay disciplined and stay in the moment. Now, I think we're working on getting our pal Liam Horban into the show. So that's fun. We can always do this stuff fun. Maybe we'll get all kinds of guests. Lance Kane, stay by the phone. No, I don't think we can. Lance, you came on, I'm pretty sure, on the post-game show when we did the playoff run, though. So Lance, I guess, in fact, can be trusted. And with the Oilers facing that 3-game losing streak, they're staring down the barrel of it. Liam says 5 minutes, people. We got 5 minutes. But they're looking at this 3-game losing streak. So obviously, head coach Chris Knobloch made some changes to the lines, but only the bottom 6, I guess you could say. Dry, McDavid, Perry will continue to play together. This is all off of what we saw yesterday in practice. Patrick hit it for me, and thank you very much. Dry, McDavid, Perry on the top line, which were solid in the last game. Corey Perry even scored a goal. Your second line, Arvey, Nuge, and Zach Hyman. But then the changes start in the bottom 6. We see Jeff Skinner. That's right, Jeff Skinner and Kasperi Kapanen both promoted to the third line in replacement of Vasily Podkolzin and Connor Brown. Brownie, in his case, goes from line 1 to the 4th line in a matter of 2 games. I mean, it's truly special what Chris Knobloch does out there with these lineup combos. And the Oilers, it's kind of been in discussion lately, looking for more depth scoring. And I think this is a move that totally echoes that, right? The hope is that Jeff Skinner and Kasperi Kapanen can unlock some offense here on the Oilers' third line and get more specifically from a guy in Adam Henrique, who we fully know what he's capable of doing. Scored 24 goals in a top 6 role last season between the Ducks and the Edmonton Oilers, but he only has 7 goals and 15 points in 52 games so far this season. And I do think Rico has been slightly miscast as a shutdown third line center because, as I just mentioned, he can do all those things, sure, defensively, but he does have more offensive upside if given the chance. And I think this move from Nobby really reflects that. In Jeff Skinner's case, we've seen him steadily improving his defensive game and his defensive awareness. And on the offensive side, we've always known what Jeff Skinner has been capable of doing. And then the guy on the other side, Kasperi Kapanen, who, shout out him, will be playing in his 500th career NHL game this evening. I'm by myself, but clap it up, damn it. I'm going to clap it up for him. He gave some good interviews today. You can see on the Oilers Twitter page, but he's a dude tonight you would expect to be highly motivated against the team that waived him just a couple of months ago, that gave the Oilers Stan Bowman an opportunity to claim him. And Kapanen has been awesome in whatever role he has been asked to play. Nobby gave an interview about it today as well, talking when he started, he was stapled to Leon Draisaitl's wing. We all went, wow, what a turn of events, going from possibly AHL minutes over to second line with Leon Draisaitl. He was even productive in that stretch there. He played with Connor McDavid, was able to score, and he's done it with a little bit of everybody so far. He's played the fourth line role, been a top six guy, been a third line guy, and a depth third line goal I think would be amazing to see tonight. Skinner, Kapanen, Rico, all guys that are very capable of putting up offensive numbers, and guys in Rico and Kapanen that are definitely defensively conscious. Obviously, that's the worry with Jeff Skinner, but I do really think he's been a lot better in that aspect of his game recently. I also see we got a super chat in the chat, $6.99 from Bob Stauffer. Reminder, all your super chats are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, who, come on, we got Brunch for Ben coming up February 22nd, which I am sad to report, but also stoked to report we're sold out for Brunch for Ben, people. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time down at Greta Bar Yegg. But Bob Stauffer says, unpopular opinion, but I like John's game last game. I'm assuming he means Klingberg. Made a few mistakes, but his puck distribution and patience is very noticeable. Fire emoji. Let's get it. Yeah, I can get down that. Once again, John Klingberg has played 2 games, 1-2 for the Edmonton Oilers. So if you're on this end of the spectrum or you're on this end of the spectrum, just stop it. Let him play 8 to 10 games before we can have an accurate judgment of what, in fact, John Klingberg really is in this Oilers lineup. I see Bo says, Bordzy, let the dogs out for good luck. That is fair if I am alone. Let's go Oil. I also saw, this would have been an awesome question. I was prepared for Zach Laing. You can check it out on Oilersnation.com, but he wrote an article that was titled, Has the Shine Worn Off on Vasily Podkolzin? And I think it's a fair question to be asked right now. I'm curious what your guys' response is to that title, because no, in my opinion, right, the shine hasn't worn off, because in my opinion, and what I think most Oilers fans should still think of Vasily Podkolzin is a fourth line grinder style of guy. His play, bangs bodies, gets in down low, retrieves pucks, energy guy. That is definitely fourth line more style. So in my opinion, everything he's done in the top 6 has kind of been just an added bonus. I mean, I will take it. And there really hasn't been much better value in the NHL than a $1 million Vasily Podkolzin, regardless of the amount of production that he's put up. The argument I always make, yes, we'd like more numbers here and there, but if Leon Draisaitl wants him on his wing, he gets him on his wing. And it sounded like Leon Draisaitl has wanted him on his wing. So I think the shine for me definitely has not worn off, but may have for our pal Chris Knobloch, because as you could tell from that lineup there, practice pods is now on the fourth line with Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown as he continues to plummet down. But Pods, he's gone 8 games without a goal now, and it is a fourth line demotion that to me, it kind of felt like it was coming, right? You could smell the roses, something like this. And then I mentioned his style of play is definitely, it's way more a fourth line typical player down there in your bottom 6. And I'm curious to see how this rolls out. Obviously, we're going Supernova. I wore the shirt today. Also, should I get a version that has Corey Perry or whoever else they throw on it and maybe just throw their head right here? I'm curious what you guys would think. And I can ask somebody else this question. Bring him on right now. We got our pal, Liam Horban. Liam, thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in to the live and then coming and hanging out with me. What I was just kind of discussing, Jack's article was entitled, Has the Shine Worn Off on Vasily Podkolzin? What's kind of your initial reaction to
that? Was there shine? That's a good question. I think it's a good place to start. I think Podkolzin came in and did really, really well, but also let's not forget, what did he do? Like 20 games without a goal to start the season. Like, I think he's been a good player for the Oilers and a really good acquisition for what you got him for. But at the end of the day, like, he's probably just in the role he's supposed to be in now. He's had a lot of opportunities to he had all of the full grip on that second line left wing spot with Draisaitl, and he just wasn't able to run with it for too long. And you really need someone just in that top six now alongside Draisaitl who can actually score some goals. Hopefully Zach Hyman can provide that a little bit tonight. Arvidsson, we'll see. I'm not in love with Victor Arvidsson. I think there's other players out there, even on this team, who could maybe do a better job than what he's doing offensively right now. So we'll see. But I think eventually one of those two had to move, and it's just easier to move down Podkolzin and Arvidsson.
And once again, right, like you mentioned it there, dude, he's had close to 50 games of a stretch here with Leon Draisaitl, and we've seen it. He does all the good things, right? And that's the thing of like the difference of him and Arvidsson. If Pods isn't producing, you can go, well, at least he's $1 million. Victor Arvidsson, you're paying $4 million and another season from now. So you need to see more production, and you're kind of more bought in and needing to see that. Curious to see the Nuge, Hyman, and RV trio as well. Also, some people making good points. Kennedy, drop a like for Liam, please. I should also drop a like to Liam. Thank you, Liam, as you're coming in to hang out. The other thing that we were discussing, also somebody said I should get Velcros for the shirt. That's a very good idea. That's Kiana. That's brains right there. Obviously tonight, right, the headlines, I hate it. Holloway, Broberg, the matchup against the Edmonton Oilers. But this is the second time these teams have met this season, so I don't want to hear it from anybody in this chat. I know we will, especially if one of them does anything, right? But Holloway and Broby, they already made their returns to Edmonton back in early December. I think it was December 7th, to be specific. They got booed. Philip Broberg had an all-time bad game in his return to Rogers Place. It was awesome, and the Oilers won 4-2, and it was on the backs, obviously, of the two guys on my shirt. And the dynamic duo set to play together again. And the Blues, right, you got to kind of fight fire with fire sometimes against the Edmonton Oilers, especially when they're going with the dynamic duo. But offense for the Blues lately, Liam, it just simply has not been there. It has dried up. They did beat the Utah Hockey Club by a score of 2-1 on Sunday night, 2 goals, and they got the W. But the Blues, had lost 4 in a row before that, getting outscored 16-4 over that 4-game losing streak. Offense been an issue on the squad. They don't have a single point per game player. The high point man is Jordan Kyrou, 43 in 53. They have one player with 20 goals, and that is one Jordan Kyrou. The Blues ranked 27th in goals per game. And you kind of mentioned it earlier today, Liam, that you look at their roster in the depth chart and you said there's a lot of names there, but there's not a lot of production there.
Yeah, a lot of good names. They're kind of like this. They're a better Seattle Kraken, is a good way to put it. A lot of guys who on any given night could score a goal. Unfortunately, for them, it might be their first goal in 7 games. So I like a lot of the players on the St. Louis team. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that first line, what is it? Buchnevich, Kyrou, and who's the other fella up there?
Robert Thomas.
There you go. Really good first line in the NHL, like a deadly one for sure. But yeah, I'm not really too worried about that. I think that, like, we spoke about Jordan Binnington on the show a little bit today, and like his Hockey Canada stuff and yada yada yada. But he kind of is nice where he steals games. Like you look at that Utah game the other day, they allowed 1 goal. I think he had like 27 saves, something like that. Like he can do it if he wants to turn up. But if the Oilers are kind of able to get under him early in the game, we all know his antics, and you can kind of throw him off a little bit. It's going to be important. But I think this is a very important game for the Oilers tonight to prove that their offense is a good quality, I guess, because it's been put in question this last little bit.
Yeah, it really has. And I'd really like a good start to a hockey game. And if they have a good start, hold on to that good start and continue to keep the pedal to the metal. I laughed at Based Ivy. Said, stop saying our enemy's offense is dried up. LOL. You said that about the Leafs. Yeah, that didn't take very long for me to be instantly wrong about that one. They got Tavares back. They got Nyes back. Also, if you don't like that, what happened in the Leafs game, you are going to hate my Sherwood Fort Giants storyline. Tyen says Broberg, 10-goal game incoming. Liam, before that, Darnell Nurse plus 900 anytime goal on his birthday. Yes?
There was the angle. I thought about that too. I think him to get a point is only like plus 160. So that seems rather tempting to me. I mean, Daryl's been a great Oiler. You know, like I know he's on that quarter century team and everything, which kind of proves that he has been a good Oiler. But Bob Stauffer put out a stat today, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was just so high in like even strength points. And he's 30 years old. This guy has been an Oiler now. I remember the Oilers for 12 years, which is crazy. I remember when they drafted him, and obviously it's not that long ago, but he's a good player. And I'm glad to see. By no means is he play into the quality of his contract. We can all agree on that. But my God, he's closest he's ever been.
I was just about to say, this is the closest he has ever been in this stretch, and I'm enjoying every single bit of it. Bob's numbers here, Darnell turns 30. Since the start of the 2021 season, Nurse is fourth in the NHL amongst defensemen with 46 even strength goals and has gone plus 86. Daryl, I love you. And as a man who's about to turn 30, you make me feel young. You make me feel very young, Darnell Nurse. So thank you for that. Let's go now to our need to know information courtesy of our friends from Will Hawk Beef Jerky. Come on, we love them. Only the finest tasting meat products. Earn that Will Hawk name. Earn that sick Will Hawk logo. Horns up, baby. Made from 100% pure Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. For more info, head on over to willhawkbeefjerky.com. Standings watch for the Edmonton Oilers. They are still first place in the Pacific Division. Tied with the Vegas Golden Knights. Hell yeah, brother. It's been a stretch now. It's someplace that I did not know if we could get at the beginning of the season. There you see it on your screen right now. 68 points apiece. 53 games played for the Vegas Golden Knights. 52 for the Oilers there. The Oil play the Blues. Vegas takes on the New York Islanders this evening. And then you see the LA Kings hanging around, brother. They're still just hanging around. Can we get these games in hand figured out already? Because I'm hating this. This has been going on for at least a month right now. Let's even that shit up before the Four Nations break. How about, obviously, not obviously, but the Kings, they're inactive this evening. I mentioned Oil beat the Blues 4-2 back on December 4th. But Liam, shout out your game notes yet again. Even the last time I had you on, it was your game notes as well. They have struggled in St. Louis in recent memory. They lost twice last season, 6-3 on February 15th, and then 3-2 loss in April. The last time the Oilers won a game in St. Louis was 2022 with a Jesse Puljujarvi goal in that game. Shout out to the smile right there. We just went through, before Liam joined us, a look at the lines we saw yesterday in practice. Didn't see the Oilers skate this morning, so we will confirm that for you when we know. But as we know, that's something we're looking at. And I guess the biggest thing of note on the back end, Mattias Ekholm is going to be back in this hockey game. My God, was he missed on Saturday when I saw Troy Stecher trying to clear big bodies like Bobby McMahon in front of the net when that would normally be Mattias Ekholm. I went, there's something different about that look on the PK. Shout out to our boy TB. He's back on the ice. He was battling illness all of last week. He's back with his boy Evan Bouchard, who I also thought was pretty solid, having to be the number one D-man in the last game. Connor McDavid, 27 points in 25 career games against the Blues. So not really McDavid standards. And then the same for Leon. 24 points in 24 career games. And then this one shocked me. Bouchard, 10 career games against the Blues, 3 points. Still chasing the shot props, though. We're still loving that. And then we expect it to be Stuart Skinner. I haven't seen any confirmation yet. Obviously, the Oilers back-to-back. Today they're in St. Louis. Tomorrow they're in Chicago. If it's me, I'm giving Stu the harder test against the St. Louis Blues, and then Picks gets the Blackhawks. Liam, I think you mentioned it today on ONE. Pickard needs revenge against these Hawks because he got 5 goals on 20 shots in the second game of the season. How would you have aligned your goalies for this stretch here, the back-to-back?
I think it's pretty straightforward. Like you said there, Skinner, Pickard, Skinner. Then you go into Four Nations. Everyone's fresh when you come back. I don't even know who they play when they get back, to be honest. But whenever that may be, one day they would just go back to Skinner then and just start the rotation all over again. So if you really, really wanted to, you probably could even go Skinner all 3. I put that at like a 2% chance of happening, but you never know. Oh, yeah, they have that crazy road trip on the way back. I think they have Carolina at the start of March as well to make it a 5-game road trip. But yeah, I would go Skinner tonight, Pickett tomorrow, Skinner again. Forgot his name for a second.
There's 2 of them on the team. They've got Skinner squared. You can't forget. And yeah, we expect Stu tonight. As I see here, though, still unconfirmed. However, the other guy is confirmed in Jordan Binnington for the St. Louis Blues. Team Canada's goalie. He's got some rough numbers this season. 14, 19, and 3. 283 goals against, 898 save percentage. I shouldn't say rough. I'll just say not really the standard that I used to have for Team Canada goaltenders. The Blues, they're 24, 25, and 4 on the season. 52 points in 53 games. 7 points back of the Calgary Flames, who are currently occupying the last wild card spot. I mentioned they beat the Utah Hockey Club on Sunday 2-1, but the scores before that, 5-0 to the Avs, 5-2 to the Canucks, 2-0 to the Stars, 4-2 to the Golden Knights. 4 goals in those 4 total games. And then you can look at some less than stellar Blues offensive numbers. Pat, if you have the head-to-head between them and the Edmonton Oilers, feel free to throw that up. But the Blues rank like this in the NHL: 27th in goals, 26th in... Oh, nice. Oh, look at my boy. Look at my boy right here. For goals, 27th. Goals against, 17th. Power play, 25th. PK, 29th. Their goals against, right there in the middle of the pack, 17th overall. But the one area I could absolutely see the Oilers exposing is that 29th ranked PK for the St. Louis Blues. Spoiler alert, might be chasing a power play point in the Edmonton, or in Bordzy's bankroll, I should rather say. And then they made a coaching change. It's been a little bit better, but not drastically better. Drew Bannister, before being fired, was 9, 12, and 1. His record before being canned. Jim Montgomery, his replacement, 15, 13, and 3. So yes, better, but not really. Maybe the new coach, the new coach bump, I will say, has worn off. That'll do it for you to know info, courtesy of our friends from Will Hawk Beef Jerky. Holy shit. Do I see what I see in the bottom of the screen? Bring him on, Pat. There he is. Zach Laing, my guest this evening. The show started. No, you're totally fine, Zach. Internet happens. How we doing? Crack a beer. There it is.
Uh-oh.
Chug.
Let me tell you. About 30 seconds before I'm about to go on to pre-gaming is probably the worst time for my internet to just completely crap out on me. And that's exactly what happened today. So sorry about that, everybody. Sorry, Aaron. Sorry, Liam. Thank you guys for pinch hitting. But I think we are okay now.
Rock and roll. Liam, I can let you go now. Thank you for coming in and pinch hitting right on a whim. I appreciate the hell of that. Liam, give me a score prediction and an anytime goal scorer. And what was your bet or your Bet365 bet of the day?
My bet of the day is Ekholm 2+ shots and Ekholm point for +260. My prediction is Ekholm gets a point and 2 shots and the Oilers win 4-2. Also, I wanted to throw this out there before I go because this is something that's not being spoke about a lot. But Pat, if you can pull up the playoff picture again for me, there's something interesting happening here, and a lot continues to happen still. But Edmonton and Calgary isn't that far away from being a first-round matchup. And that is going to be awesome if that happens. We need some things to go the Oilers' way. We need some things to fall back in Winnipeg. But we're kind of close to that, and I'm all in.
Dude, we talked about it on Saturday's pregame, and Coombsy, I cut a clip on it, and he said it to me, and I was like live, and I was like, I had never thought of it, and I was like, holy shit, dude, you're totally right. We might get that first round. We might get Leafs Senators in the first round as well. Early 2000s. We're back, baby.
It's exciting stuff. But on that note, I will leave you guys and see you later.
Love you, Liam. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Oilers Nation every day, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time. We love you, Liam. We appreciate you very much. Yeah, Zach, totally fine, dude. Don't worry. We were able to go. I said if I had to ramble by myself for 60 minutes, I was fully prepared. And then Liam was just in the chat and he goes, hey, I can hop in.
Perfect.
Like, come on, more the merrier. But
Perfect.
Zach, how we doing today? That sounds like it was a little all over the place, but vibes good, feeling good. Internet looks good.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, nice cold nation beer from the back of the fridge, man. It is doing absolute wonders right now for me. So I think we're good now. Can start to breathe. Can talk a little bit of Oilers, a little bit of Blues. Interesting game tonight, my man.
We're back, baby. Lance Kane says, I was also ready. Lance, I know you're always ready. If I ever called you and if I needed a fan to pinch hit, I think Lance would probably be my first call of the day. Let's go now to my Sherwood Ford Giant storyline this evening, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Hockey fans helping hockey fans. Free valet service for all Oilers Nation fans. Never visit the dealership again for car service. Get an exclusive swag package with every Nation valet service booked online and automatically be entered to win a monthly prize draw. Book online at sherwoodford.ca. Make sure you add in Oilers Nation Valet in the pickup comments to get in on the draw. Oilers Nation fans, your hockey destination is Sherwood Ford. Couldn't do what we do on this show without Sherwood Ford, as they are the presenting sponsor. So somebody mentioned it earlier that what I was saying was similar to what I said before the Leafs game, that their offense had been lacking and that you shouldn't give them any power plays because they might kill you that way. That's a great way for a struggling team to get back into it. Well, Zach, what happened in the first period against the Maple Leafs? The Oilers take 2 minor penalties. They get scored on twice. They're facing 3-0 before you even fucking know it, man. The Blues, they are also a struggling offensive team right now. They can't buy a goal, and when they do, it's coming off the backs of their top dogs. So much like that Leafs game, you try and limit the top 6 players. Matthias Ekholm will be a huge asset in trying to do that, but that's where my key to victory comes in as well. It's the special teams. I understand the Blues only have the 25th ranked power play, but you cannot give a struggling offensive team chances with the man advantage. That is exactly what happened against the Leafs. So you don't want any of that. And then on the reverse side, I mean, special teams is often the difference. There's a reason it is. There's a reason they put so much emphasis on it. But the Oilers have a top 10 power play for a reason. You're taking on the 29th ranked PK. Doesn't take a genius in this one, that if you can get some man advantages, you got to take advantage of them in this game and start peppering Jordan Binnington with shots. What would you say that your key to victory and storyline is? Sorry, I was hopped up there.
I could tell you were in a nice little state of flow right there, Bordzy. Special teams are going to be a really important key to this game for the Edmonton Oilers. You talk about the penalty kill, what happened against the Toronto Maple Leafs, less than ideal. Ekholm coming back in the lineup, that's going to be a huge, huge win for the Edmonton Oilers here tonight, right? I mean, he's been such a major piece of this team since he's been acquired, essentially since the moment he stepped on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers. He's probably been the Oilers' most consistent and their number one defenseman since then. And that's coming from a guy who absolutely loves what Evan Bouchard has been doing as of late. So, for the Oilers, a strong penalty kill tonight, finding a way to get one on the power play. I think that would be a really good feeling here tonight as well, right? Always get nervous when you go into a game against a team like St. Louis, who are coming in with like 6 goals in their last 6 games. They've been shut out a couple of times here as of late. So it's a scary proposition. They've been struggling for sure. They juiced that top line back up together. Jordan Kyrou rejoining Robert Thomas and Pavel Buchnevich. And they've been a great trio together when they've played together over the last number of years. Obviously, trying to spread things out a little bit more in their top 6 and their top 9 here this season. But it's going to be an interesting game here tonight, to say the least. You got birthday boy on the back end, Darnell Nurse. Shout out Nurse. Happy birthday. I'm sure that's already been covered today. Definitely a big key to the game, I think, is going to be the special teams.
Zach, I said, as 2 men who are staring down the barrel of turning 30 years old this year, you and I both, shout out 1995A, but Darnell Nurse gives me hope for what 30 looks like because he still looks like one spring chicken and could
That's right.
beat the shit out of a lot of dudes in the NHL. Not that that's anything that we're going to be doing, but makes me feel young by watching him and saying it's not all over yet. I also apologize to anyone above the age of 30 because I'm just going to move along from there. Also, one more thing. Navi gave an interview today explaining why the Oilers were so successful in January. He said a multitude of things, but one, Oilers goaltending being consistent, the both of them. Two, specifically, the Oilers are winning the special teams battle more often than not in hockey games. Both the power play and PK miles ahead of where they started the beginning of the season. And in a game that is so often decided by calls and non-calls, I guess you could say, the Oilers have been taking full advantage. So we've got to like that. Just checking. Do we have any for sure? Oh, we do, from our boy Bob Stauffer, and it does look like everything that was in practice yesterday. So let's go through the Edmonton Oilers lines. Top one, McDavid, Dry, Perry. Second line, Arvidsson with RNH and Zach Hyman. Third line, Jeff Skinner with Philp and Kasperi Kapanen is what I am seeing here, courtesy of our boy Bob Stauffer. So I apologize, Pat. That's why we do this live, and this is what we get when they don't give out the morning skate. Third line, Skinner, Philp, Kapanen. Fourth line, Podkolzin, Janmark, Brown. And then your deep pairings, Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse with John Klingberg, Brett Kulak, my boy, with the enemy, Ty Emerson. I'm kidding. He's not the enemy. But in the tattoo bet, he's definitely my enemy. And they've both been eating pucks professionally for the last week. It's getting intense. But obviously, I'll give Pat some time here, and then he can throw up this graphic whenever he can. Take your time, Pat. The Oilers obviously missed Matthias Ekholm Saturday night. I mentioned, I really did think Evan Bouchard stepped his game up, and he struggled to get the puck out of the end in the first period. After that, I thought he really settled in and was that number one D-man. And Bush couldn't do it all by himself. I mentioned Stetch on the PK. He looked a lot different than our boy Matthias Ekholm. Other guys were asked to do a little bit more and shoulder more of a load than they normally would, including our new friend, John Klingberg. After the first game, some people in this chat were saying, well, I think we've solved our top four right D problem. And then after the second game, some people in this chat were calling him a bust and calling him washed. There are no surprises in this chat. Nothing surprises me anymore. But hey, Zach, it's almost like he's only played 36 minutes of hockey in the last 14 months. But I'm curious your early impressions, emphasis on early of John Klingberg, because to me, he seems exactly as advertised. He skates well. It's very smooth. He's a little bit bigger and taller than I remembered. He's always got his head up, looking to make that awesome first pass, that breakout pass. But he does appear to maybe sometimes be a little bit of a liability in his own end. Once again, it's been 2 games. What have you thought of him, Zach?
Yeah, I think you summarized it pretty well there, Bordzy. I mean, I think we've seen the signs of what makes him him, right? The ability to move the puck up the ice, the ability to make some quick passes. He looks confident with the puck on his stick. He seems to be moving well, all things considering, right? Which is really the most important thing that we were looking for from him, was some good movement out there. He also looks like he could probably use a can of WD-40 and kind of, smoke up the joints a little bit, maybe a little rust cleaner.
Zach, your mic just came super fuzzy. You should unplug it and then plug it back in. And I'll take it from there, brother. Also, some people in here saying, Lance, I'm so jazzed on Klingberg, honestly. Right? It's kind of like you look at him and I'm like, he's a different version. I hope that he can be a different version of Evan Bouchard. But those things that I just described, holy shit, were very similar to Evan Bouchard. Take 2, Zachary Laing.
Yeah, let's see. How's this working now? Wait a second.
Now,
Sound a little bit better?
bang, you're back.
Beautiful. So as I was saying, a little bit of WD-40, a little bit of Rusties or something like that is definitely what John Klingberg needs around this time, right? As you said, 36 minutes in the last 14 months. It's been pretty rough, but hopefully he can shake it off soon and we can really see what he can do. So, again, the nice thing is we still got a number of games.
It sounds like your mic's getting a little fuzzy again. Maybe, Zach, pop out of the stream and then come pop back in. I can shoulder the load for a couple minutes here again, because there's the other line that we do take a look at here. And it's, Pat, if you want to throw them back up, you can. Also, I'll lean back in my chair. But you take a look at some of these, the second line, Arvidsson, RNH, Zachary Hyman. Me and Liam kind of mentioned it there, talking about Victor Arvidsson, as he's been so up and down for me lately, and it's tough. He's trying hard. He looks like he's doing stuff. He's skating hard out there, but I don't think there's been a whole heck of a lot of production there. The effort, the defensive conscious, all of those things are there. I just want to see more from Victor Arvidsson. So I'm hoping pairing him up here with RNH and Zach Hyman, two guys who have been red hot lately, can maybe start to elevate the play of Victor Arvidsson. And maybe there won't be the offensive pressure of having to play with Leon Draisaitl, and he can just play with those other guys and see what happens. Because you look at those other guys, Nuge, he has 6 points in his last 5 hockey games. And then Zach Hyman, he's got 5 points in his last 5 hockey games as well, while Arvidsson hasn't scored a goal in his last 7 games. Pods had gone 8 now without a goal. It was a matter of time. Those guys needed to get switched up. They obviously did before the last game, but who knows? RV plus 280 anytime goal. That's not for me, but maybe an RV point this evening, I think, could be something that people could look at as an option. The other thing that I want to talk about, because it's a rumor and who knows, but speaking of second lines, did you guys see that our pal, okay, hold on, let me do this. I got to zoom out. Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit better there. Am I a little bit better? There we go. Did you guys see the Brad Marchand to the Edmonton Oilers rumors? Because it came from both Elliot Friedman and Alan Mitchell of The Athletic, saying there is smoke behind a potential move from Marchand to the Edmonton Oilers. I say dare to dream, fellas, and I preface all of this with that, because obviously Boston is reeling. They're having a down season, currently out of a playoff spot, and Marchand is 36 years old. He's not getting any younger. He's currently in the last year of his 8-year deal, in a deal that's paying him a very reasonable $6.125 million. That's his cap hit. And the Bruins, right, if they decide to go down this path, because it feels like a changing of the guard is coming in Boston, this could be a chance for the Bruins to recoup some assets if they don't intend to re-sign one Brad Marchand. So once again, dare to dream, but I'm very curious if we could see a Brad Marchand in an Edmonton Oilers jersey. Imagine this, people. A worm and a rat, both in orange and blue. It would be fantastic. I'd have to go back in time and tell old Aaron Bordato, don't say the things you would normally say about Perry and Marchand, because they will be future Edmonton Oilers. I'm seeing some people in here that are talking just a rat line. Yep. Perry, Arvidsson, Marchand, that could be one. Yeah, I'm interested in what you guys think. Now, it's the 8th time I'll say it. Dare to dream, but it's fun to dare to dream. And I saw somebody else in here just put Bob Stauffer, all capitals. What? That was my reaction when I saw this one, but it's kind of all over the place. Preston Hodgkinson, writer for the Daily Hive. He's been on this very show before. He has an article right now up. You should go check him out on Twitter. You can read that article, because who knows, man? It does make sense. I mean, if the Bruins aren't going to be a team that's going to contend, I know that Marchand wants to play elsewhere. And then, dude, that could be the scoring winger to Leon Draisaitl that we have been asking for a number of years. Obviously, thought it was going to be Dylan Holloway at one point. Thought it'd be Jeff Skinner this year. Thought it'd be Victor Arvidsson. Doesn't really feel. The Arvidsson one still might work out. Who knows? But Brad Marchand, again, he's 36 years old, and that is not young, but I would be incredibly, incredibly down for that move, because it's like the Luka Doncic trade. You didn't think a guy like that's available. If he becomes available, you make yourself available in that one. Let's go now to our starting goaltender report, brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, home of the $50 ATV, or be on a boat next summer for as low as $105 bi-weekly. Hockey fans, helping hockey fans with motorcycles, quads, e-bikes, and boats. Shout out to Power Sports Marine. Also, keep your eyes peeled, because they've always got their commercial running during the Oilers games. Pat, I see you got it there. Damn, you do quick work, Patrick. Pull it up for me. The graphic, the tail of the tape between these two goaltenders, Stuart Skinner and one Jordan Binnington. Hey, Zachary, you're back.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Do I sound okay this time?
You do.
Perfect. There we
You're
go.
totally back. So we look at the numbers here. Stuart Skinner, shout out the 902, shout out the asterisk. That's next to his 2 shutouts as well. 19 to 12 and 4, 271, 902. And then obviously I mentioned Binnington's number a little bit earlier. Stu, looking for a bounce back, obviously. He wasn't great against the Maple Leafs. He allowed 4 goals on 28 shots. He guessed wrong on the Nylander one, which was tough. I think is just a good goal that was broken down very well from Kevin Bieksa on the Sportsnet broadcast. He then made 2 saves on the PK, but he kicked the rebounds right out into the dead slot. Is that on him? Is that on the team in front of him? Who knows? But yes, Stuart Skinner 1000% could have been better. But I do want to preface it with some of this Stuart Skinner panic just feels like it came out of nowhere because he put up a 951, then he puts up a 942, but allows 2 goals on 2 shots in the shootout. A shootout where the Oilers didn't even get a shot on net in a shootout. And then he has this less than stellar game against the Leafs. And all of a sudden, we're talking trades again. We're talking Karel Vejmelka again. Waz said his name to me 18 times today, and I didn't like that. But I'm curious, Stuart Skinner, your confidence level in him tonight against the Blues, Zachary?
Yeah, I got confidence in Stuart Skinner for sure. I mean, we were having a pretty heated discussion the other day at Nation HQ, talking about Skinner, how he does as a goaltender and where he's at right now. Look, this is a guy who's always been a bit of a streaky netminder, right? It's always been a part of his game. He's had good runs. He's had poor runs. He's had mediocre runs. Right now, he's running hot. And I think in the bigger picture, like the most important thing for any goaltender, come the playoffs when the games matter most is getting hot. I mean, we've seen in the past very mid goaltenders take teams to Stanley Cup finals, win Stanley Cups before in the past. I don't think Stuart Skinner is, a top 5 goaltender in the league or, top 10 or anything like that. But I think he's probably like the 11th or 12th best goaltender. I think you can make an argument for that. And I think that's a guy that you can win with in the NHL nowadays. At the end of the day, people have to remember something too. And it's the fact that the Oilers salary cap right now, the way they have everything structured, it's around having 2 value goaltenders. I mean, Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard are probably the most inexpensive goaltending tandem in the entire National Hockey League, and they're helping deliver wins for the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, they're going to have some off games. Each of them do. All goaltenders do, though. That's the thing. Look at a guy like Sergei Bobrovsky. Like, he's really struggled up until, the last 4 or 5 games here this season. So I think for Skinner, just trying to find some consistency in his game is probably the biggest thing and the best thing that he could do for himself and for the Oilers as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. We know the inconsistencies. We're all very aware of it. I also laugh. It's kind of like Bloody Mary. If you say Stuart Skinner's name 3 times, the super gremlin is going to appear in the chat, back and ready to chirp. 902 is a cup winning goaltender, and he does have a point in here. And Gremlin is my buddy, obviously. He says in here, Stu is only good against non-playoff teams. And I get that we are Stuart Skinner believers. I believe in the guy through and through, but I'm going to call a spade when it is what it is. And you can present this. And we showed these numbers earlier today on Oilers Nation Every Day. Pains me because the Gremlin's in here, but these are the starting goaltenders on the top 10 teams in the NHL once they play against each other. If you look at Stuart Skinner's numbers, he is the 10th out of the 10 goalies that could qualify for this thing. He's got an .854 save percentage, negative 1.05 goals saved above expected, 763 high danger save percentage. We also have the graphic there, Pat, which kind of puts it all together a little bit more in those 13 games that he has played. So Super Gremlin, don't tell me that I'm biased with Stuart Skinner. I'm aware of what he is. I'm showing this here because he does need to be better against those good teams. It happened there again against the Toronto Maple Leafs. 13 games, not a huge sample size, but it is a sample size. It is a considerable sample size. And when I saw Liam put up these numbers on ONE today, I go, okay, you do need to be better against those guys. But the same thing I kind of say to Super Gremlin all the time is, okay, I understand if you think he's inconsistent and all these things, but just come in the chat every time and just say he sucks. Give me a trade option. Give me an option. Tell me a way. Is it a Dustin Schwartz? Give me something, because it does get nauseating to just hear he sucks. Like, okay, let's move on. Let's kind of do something. Zach, what do you think about those numbers I showed there? Because not great.
Definitely not great. The numbers speak for themselves at the end of the day. I'm a numbers guy. You know me. I love my analytics. I love my goals saved above average, like we were looking at there. Again, it's about being hot at the right time in the season, and that's during the playoffs, right? And I think you make a great point too here. Like, it's not like there's a very robust market of goaltenders that are available right now.
No.
Grubauer was just on waivers a couple of days ago. He's not better than Stuart Skinner or Calvin Pickard. You're telling me that the only goaltender on Frank Saravalli's trade targets list, Dan Vladar from the Calgary Flames, is better than Skinner or Calvin Pickard? Come on, people. I mean, really, like what's going to happen here? Like Karel Vejmelka, yeah, you could make an argument that he's maybe better than Stuart Skinner is. I think you could definitely make that argument. But even in the same breath, I don't know if Utah is going to trade him, right? I mean, Connor Ingram's just kind of getting back into the swing of things. He's been struggling this season too. There's a reason we haven't heard Vejmelka's name in the trade market in the last couple of years. It's because they have a desire to hold on to the player, right? It's not like all of a sudden we're, sitting here and it's like early in 2006 and the Oilers were able to go make a trade for Dwayne Rollison, something like that. And, it's just, there's not a guy out there right now that's available that would be better than what the Oilers have. So they have to kind of ride or die with them.
And at the money that you're paying both Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard, like, you've already made your bed. You've already built your roster around these things. And like Tyan says, Gibson, I like that he put ... question mark, like Gibson. No, I think the money is not, unless you can find a way that they can eat it. Like, and then I also have the other argument that I don't even know if I think John Gibson is better than either Stuart Skinner or Calvin Pickard. But once again, Devin Dubnyk said it best when he joined our show last week. No matter what, the sun will go up and down no matter what. At the end of the day, we can always blame goaltenders, and we can always share in all of that. Let's move along to the away team lineup, the St. Louis lineup, brought to you by Greta Bar. Shout out to them. We're going to have a fantastic evening, obviously, for brunch for Ben. But we do have another party coming up. And here it is, Pat. I just put it on the screen for us as well. You can take that off because it's Canada versus the USA. Saturday, February 15th, 2025. We're at Greta Bar. Tickets are $10. Doors open at 4 p.m. You can do VIP for $40. Believe me. You can be hanging out with me there as well. Tickets available at nationgear.ca, all in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation. And people, here's the selling feature. So normally when we do these events and parties for games, I'm hosting the parties in the event, but I'm also hosting this very show you're watching and the post-game show. So I got to stay focused. Zach, you've seen me. I'm keeping notes during the game. I'm trying to do a lot of stuff while pounding beers. But guess what? For this one, I don't have to do any work besides having an awesome time and throwing an awesome party on the mic down there at Greta Bar. I highly recommend you get the $40 VIP ticket because we are going to have a night. Canada versus the USA, presented by Fountain Tire. Damn it, this one's going to be fun. I have fun every time we do our parties at Greta, but I am working the entire time. This one, while still work, is more like work, brother. It's going to be an awesome time. Come on out. And then, as I said earlier, regret to inform you, but I'm also stoked to inform you. Brunch for Ben, sold out, brothers. Shout out to all the nation citizens out there. You guys are fantastic. Let's take a look. We got to go quick. Show me the St. Louis Blues projected lineup. Shout out to Jeremy Rutherford. Shout out to Patrick Puff producing on the fly. Top line, Buchnevich, Robert Thomas, and Jordan Kyrou. And then Dylan Holloway, who with Braden Shen and Alex. How do I say this guy's name?
Texier.
Jake Neighbors with Oscar Sundquist and Zach Bolduc. Alexei Toropchenko with Radek Faksa and Nathan Walker. Deep pairings, Cam Fowler with Colton Parayko, the local boy, the Stalbert boy. And it's Philip Broberg, who with Justin Falk. 80-year-old man Ryan Suter with Nick Leddy, who is returning from injury. He's only played 4 games this season. We're going quick. This is what they're looking with. I see it's already 59. We're kind of all over the place. Zach, give me a player to watch, but go quick.
I'm just going to go with the entirety of that top line. They're all 3 have been about point per game players in their career against the Edmonton Oilers. Pavel Buchnevich, probably the one of the 3 to watch the most.
Remember when we heard that the St. Louis Blues for Pavel Buchnevich wanted Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg? Oh, why did I even bring that up? Why did I even do that? I'm like torturing my own self. Let's go now. Quickly. Puck drop is at 6:08. So, Pat, we do have a couple minutes. Shout out Jack Michaels for always doing that. Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I feel good about these three. Super Gremlin, let me know if you rode because he sent you a Snapchat earlier. He says, if you don't parlay all three, you don't love Bordzy. He said it, not me. Your first option, Bouchard, over 2.5 shots on goal on the evening. That's currently minus 125. Bouch has 14 shots on goal in his last 2 games. 8 against Toronto, 6 against the Detroit Red Wings. Enough said right there. He's in a shooting gallery mood right now. The other one doesn't take rocket science either. Leon on McDavid's wing, over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 140, so less juice. But get this, Leon has 22 shots in his last 4 games played, 6 against Toronto, 10 against the Detroit Red Wings. And then the last one, Connor McDavid, 1+ power play points at plus 135. The Blues, 29th ranked power play. And go for this, the Utah Hockey Club on Sunday to Utah, they went 0 for 3 on the power play. However, the games before that, the Avs went 2 for 4. The Canucks went 2 for 2. I like the Oilers to get a power play goal. So obviously I then just pick the guy who's going to get the most touches on the Oilers power play, which is him or Evan Bouchard, if you were thinking about maybe getting a little bit more juice. Honorable mention, Darnell Nurse, anytime goal for the birthday boy, plus 900. We ride. Zach, which one of these do you like the most?
Boy, Bordzy, I love all three like usual. You always do a great job of picking these ones. But give me that dry shot prop. You're going to give me a line of 2.5, even if it's minus 40 with a little bit of juice on that. I'm going to go take out a quick mortgage and go put it on that shot prop right there.
That's a smart boy, and he's going to do so responsibly. And he's only going to bet what he's willing to lose. So if you're willing to lose that, then hey, you do it, and you do so responsibly. Finally, I love you all. You guys are all the best. Big shouts out to our sponsor, Zach. Give me a score prediction and an anytime goal score.
Oh boy, this is a juicy one, Bordzy. I did write the GDB today, and in that I did a 5-2 Edmonton Oilers win, and give me a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins anytime goal plus 240 at Bet365 right now.
The other thing that, okay, yes, you're going that. I'm going to say, I like 5-2. I like 5-2 with a Darnell Nurse anytime goal at plus 900. The 30 is the new 20. That's what the kids are saying. That's what we are both saying as well. Finally, quick shout out, ad read. Come on the Nation vacation. I saw Kiana put it in the chat earlier. She bought her ticket earlier this afternoon. I also got confirmation Sean Pangs is coming on the Nation vacation. This is going to be an awesome time, people. Come on down. Get to nationgear.ca for more details. You can find our flight options, non-flight options, or you can just get the game ticket as well. Or double ad read, you can go to Oodle Noodle, where all of your dine-in orders can get you a chance and enter to win a seat on the Nation vacation. You can come on the Nation vacation strictly for eating Oodle Noodle. This would be my diet every single day if I wasn't already going on this trip. Head on down to Oodle Noodle. Also, if you're feeling lazy, it's cold out, roads are shitty, order some Oodle Noodle or go pick it up, whatever. No one wants to cook when it's like this. We love Oodle Noodle. Shout out Gina. She's in the chat as well. I love you all. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. Need a win out there on Bordzy's bankroll. And the Edmonton Oilers also need a W. Losers are their last 2, staring down the barrel of a 3-game losing streak. Over and out. We'll talk right here, right after the game.
Cheers.